I started doing a lot of consulting, creative directing, actual design fulfillment and different things. And I soon actually became pretty overwhelmed and I couldn't keep up. And not complaining at all. That's definitely a great problem to have, and I was happy to have that problem. But at the same time, there was a lot of work that I was missing out on, and I really wanted to do is see what's it going to take to build this thing out. How can we possibly make it grow? And of course, the obvious thing is we need extra hands. We need creatives to come in and actually help fulfill any work that came in. So I also had begun to evaluate what was going on with some of these companies that I was consulting and doing work for. And there was really two major things out there that I saw going on that were, I think, very problematic. One of them is that a lot of executives will see the word designer as kind of like this all-encompassing skill set, and not realize that the word design really covers a vast majority of skill sets. And especially today, I mean, with as complex as things are getting, with cloud computing, responsive design, and everything, it's getting much more complex for any single individual to do something. You're really forced to begin to either become a jack of all trades, or you need to start to specialize in a specific segment. And so, I started to look what was happening out there, and I looked at some of these companies that they may have had a designer on board if they were lucky enough to have that, a budget to be able to afford it, not realizing that they're really limited in the skill set of the individual they have on there. It's not the fault of the individual, it's just what they had. So, for instance, a company may have hired on a graphic designer, and they had them do some, like logos and letterheads and anything else, company branding type stuff. And now the company's ready to expand and say, I'm ready to do a website. Well, it's only natural for them to go in and reach to their in-house resources to get that fulfilled. So they go to their graphic designer and say, hey, we need you to build a website. Well, the graphic designer doesn't want to say no, because that's, they want to have value and they're not going to tell their boss no. And they may not have the proper web developer skill set that's necessary. Now, I'm not saying that somebody couldn't pull it off, but what I am saying is that you couldn't argue that whatever that individual is going to do, if they're able to do it, is not going to compare in quality and outcome to somebody that's all they do. They are a web developer. They specialize in website design. It's not going to happen. So again, the result is the company's going to get a subpar result if they get a result. At that point, they may look somewhere else and say, okay, this is not going to work internally. We're going to have to reach out, to an outsource somewhere. So they'll try freelancing. And today's freelancing game it's really scary. And because of the ease of accessibility of software today, whether it's legal or pirated, and its ability to run on low-end systems just about anywhere, it really gives somebody with very low skill set the ability to make it look like they have somewhat of a presence. And start offering services. They become an expert all of a sudden. And it's unfortunate because it does two really bad things. Number one is it begins to bury all of us who truly are skilled and professional in what we do and in our craft. It's now buried us in the sea of marketing that everybody's been posting up there. And the second problem that's happening there is, of course, the clients are not getting the quality of work, if at all, when they're reaching out there and trying to have somebody to fulfill it, because that individual might have a specific skill set, just like the employee example that I gave, that's unable to fill what they're doing, but the bad economy has forced somebody to say, yeah, hey, I can do it. And believe me, I've been there. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to say, I'm taking on a project that requires something that's on the fringe of my skill set. And you quote out something like 30 hours and it takes you like 130 hours to fulfill it, and you've made like $2 an hour, right, when it's all said and done. And if you freelance, you know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. And we probably pulled it off because, again, that's what we do. But there's a lot of people out there that couldn't, and they didn't, and it was the client that suffered for it. So it's a very common tale for a client to come to me and kind of have this story of, we had this guy trying to design a site. He's 3 months overdue, and when we got it, it wasn't what we expected, and now we're starting from square one again, and we'd have to go in there and play cleanup or start from scratch again. So that whole system was very problematic as well and needed to be addressed. So some companies, realizing that their in-house employees or even freelancing may not be the best choice for them, may elect to go to a specialty house, so like a web design company. And and that's a good choice because, again, the web design company, that's what they specialize in. They do websites. The bad news is that's what they specialize in. They do websites. And so something else that I observed that was happening is these companies were hiring out somebody to do their website work, somebody to do their print work, somebody to do their social media work. And now you kind of had this really Frankenstein brand that was coming together. There was no continuity in between all the branding methods, and it looked like a different company based on where your point of contact was. And so that really wasn't working either, and is not working for some companies. Again, the company may even be able to have a marketing director, but the marketing director is really not a creative director. So they don't know who to go use, and they don't know how to orchestrate everything together. That's not their job. Their job is to come up with the right marketing messages for the company itself.